Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What's a tiny design flaw in an everyday object that quietly annoys you every single time you use it? Plastic sealed food packaging where there's a tab to peel off the lid, but when you pull it, it just peels off the edge and leaves the package sealed. Fall for it every time. The worst are the freezer kind of bags that have a marking for where to cut, but it's usually not low enough to actually break the seal. Or the line to cut is below where you are supposed to reseal the bag. I have actually seen this. I have a theory that these are getting worse, harder to open. I feel like 5 to 10 years ago they came off pretty cleanly. The most maddening for me is the circular mustard bottle seal with the center semicircle flap. I think they are cheaping out on glue, or paper, or something to save money. This theory is based on nothing concrete except my anger. Been telling my wife this for years, like the exact same thing. I also believe they are making them out of cheaper materials that fail more often than they work. It's ridiculous. So infuriating. I have a skin medication where every single time the peel only removes the top foil, leaving behind a clear plastic layer between me and the medication. I want to use the goop, not look at it. ETA, it's a completely flat lid, not the kind you're meant to pierce with the other side of the cap. Every company that manufactures things should post a video of their CEO opening one of each product. Shit would change real quick. Kraft, open here, mac and cheese, for example. Or the resealable packaging where the Ziploc channels don't actually line up and thus cannot be actually used. How hard can it be? Or when the zip bit just rips off the packaging itself. The remember me checkbox on website logins that sure as shit doesn't remember me. My fucking electric company, it never fucking remembers me ever. My water service doesn't remember and insists on texting me a code every time to one and only one number when I go to pay my bill. Because God forbid anyone else in the house be able to just log in through the shared household bills email and pay it. No pass to have the one and only phone number, if they'd even add real 2FA. Websites with information in the footer that always disappears because the designers added infinite scrolling. I ran into one of those the other day, like WTF, also ones where the header pops back in if you scroll up just a wee bit too far. Man, I just want to reread that one line, now I have to roll down 1/4 screen. FFFFFFFFF. I can never just get one wet wipe out cleanly, it brings 6 others with it and I have to cram them back in the packaging, plus the sticky clear plastic cover always ends up falling off. And the last 20 wipes dry out because the sticky flap stopped sticking. Or won't go down because the previous wipe came out 3/4 of the way and you had to half-ass shove it back in one-handed with a wriggling baby in the other hand. The sticker they put on new glassware or plates. It's not the normal, satisfying to peel kind. It's the evil, paper-based kind that's designed to tear into 50 tiny pieces and leave behind a permanent, sticky residue that will outlive civilization itself. I use eucalyptus oil to remove sticker residue, swab a bit over the residue, wait a minute or two, scrub it off. I agree that it's super annoying, but this is the fix I've worked out. The pedestal of a toilet having the nooks, crannies of the internal piping so it catches dust, dirt, grime, and other horrible bathroom mess. Why not a smooth column to the floor? Do-a-day. I fully agree with this and only just realized how stupid it is now that you've mentioned it. Try the American Standard Clean model. Renovated a handful of bathrooms between my own and family members' houses, and it's been picked for every single one once it was pointed out as an option. ETA, many of the plumbing subreddits hate this and similar models because the skirted design makes it a pain to service, and at least more challenging than average just to install. However, if you live in a house with multiple young boys, the increased ease of regular cleaning can far outweigh the increased difficulty of service, install. The first one I installed was a pain, the second a nuisance, but then I figured it out and now it's only negligibly harder than a normal toilet. The power button on the Kindle being on the bottom where my support finger goes. It's hard not to take that one personally. I swapped to an Onyx Books from Kindle so I could take notes, school plus work plus old, and OMG I audibly gasped when I saw both the power button and charging port on the side so you could rest it upright while charging, never going back. Drop-down menus for the year. I actually can type the year quicker than scrolling. This doesn't even bother me in comparison to its far more terrible cousin. Whoever decided that entering a birth date should be done on a calendar pop-up that defaults to today's date should be banned from UI design for life. I have to go up to the top, click the year, scroll all the way down the correct year, then do the same for the month, then click the actual day. Just let me fucking type it in, you monster. One step worse, no year selection, you just have to go through the months. This usually isn't the case for birth date fields, but for other time spans, it's still infuriating. Closing parenthesis. Not tiny, but touchscreens in cars. I'm sure they are cheaper to manufacture, but it's a safety concern when you have to take your eyes off the road to do even the most simple thing on the touchscreen. Buttons and knobs are 1 billion times better. The AC control in my car is digital and it drives me absolutely insane. Nothing like sitting in your car melting while the thermostat moves like molasses to the coldest setting. I had a rental car, a Dodge Charger, where the AC controls were split between the touch screen and some buttons and knobs a foot below the touch screen. You could control the temp and fan speed from the knobs, but if you wanted to switch it from the top vent to your feet. Touch screen, using Android Auto, which is taking up the screen. Too bad, so sad. Seasonal, why are candy canes impossible to unwrap? A pristine candy cane and it's all mine. Snap-ack, they're in cahoots with Laffy Taffy. I have a hydraulic log splitter. As a safety feature it requires 2 hands to operate, one to push a button and one to hold a lever down. The problem is that to do this I have to bend down and put my face distressingly close to the hunk of wood that it is trying to explode into 2 chunks. I've never gotten hit, but having my face that close to the violence feels like it should be avoided, like by not requiring 2 hands and just trusting people not to shove their hands in the way of an axe blade. A lot of people rewire the button to a foot pedal so they can get further away out of the danger zones. Hi from the danger zone. Just trusting people not to shove their hands in the way of an axe blade. That's where you overestimate a whole fuck ton of people. Honestly, do those people really deserve hands? Feels like you should put a plexiglass shield there. Can probably get some cheap at a scrapyard if you didn't feel like buying new. Typically I would wear my chain sawing helmet with a face guard, seeing as I would often have to saw up a log just to fit. Now something in the electronics died, so I'm counting it as a blessing and I'm going to find something better designed. The fact that cars are still built with all these cracks and crevices that you can drop stuff down into and never retrieve. My 91 Mercedes has a built-in little plate between the center console and the seat, making it impossible to drop stuff down there. I am baffled why they stopped doing that. Right, no cell phones to lose back then either, although I guess dropping change down there was a way bigger deal before current inflation levels. Just the other day I squeezed my hand down there to grab something and my watch got stuck. Had a panic attack and thought I was going to die. Longest 3 minutes ever. This is so absurdly niche, but it annoys me no end. A website I occasionally use has a login screen that dramatically shakes if you enter the wrong details. Like a big, "Noir." Then after a couple of seconds, has a pop-up window to tell you that you used the wrong password. Such a weird thing to design into a website. Yeah, we saw Jurassic Park. You didn't say the magic word. Whoever the asshole is who decided TVs should only have a single multi-purpose button should be immediately fired. I want my dedicated volume, power, and input buttons back. Edit, for clarity, I'm talking about buttons on the TV itself, not the remote. Edit 2, oh shit, now they're making TVs without any buttons at all. God help us. I have a soundbar with 0 buttons, not even a power button, and a remote the size of half a playing card. It also turns itself off after 10 minutes if there's no sound going through it. Pause to do some dishes. Got to have a scavenger hunt for the tiny remote my 1yo stashed somewhere. At least it was free. Surprised no one has said cereal bags yet. It's been said before but I'll repeat it here, big cereal needs to hook up with Ziploc. When I was a kid, I had no problem opening my own cereal. Now, as an adult, I struggle to open the inner bags without cereal flying everywhere. They changed the material or something. I agree, I use scissors to open pretty much everything in the kitchen now. I hate it when the bag tears on the wrong plane, so I just snip right across the top. Sure, which Ziploc would you like, the ones that don't ever open when you move the slider, or the ones that never close when you move the slider? I prefer the ones where the locking channels don't align. The last half inch of product in the deodorant bottle that won't push up because they made the screw too short. If you mean a solid one, extract that and add it to the next container before dialing that one to usability. Smile to myself that I got one over on the manufacturer. Evil, I like that in a deodorant consumer smile with horns. Appliances that don't include any power cord management features, like a way to wrap and stow them. My wife buys stick-on cord holders and puts them on all our appliances. She probably gets them cheap from Amazon. I wish she would consult me first. I have a 3D printer so I could have made them for her at only twice the cost and 5x the time. Or you have to buy a USB connector to plug the damn thing in. Or they give you one and it's only 3. Power block not included. Old school vacuum cleaner which had automatic cord that pulls itself back, whereas now it's just the whole wire out. I've got a cheap Abyssal vacuum with a retractable cord. It's so much better than the wrap-up kind. That Reddit share or award button I keep hitting with my thumb as I'm scrolling. Can I add the left-right swiping that will either switch to the next image in a collection or jump to the next post, whichever you didn't intend? When they package orders in the dumbest possible way. You want a fragile item. Sure, we'll just put it in a shoebox and tell the UPS guy to drop-kick it to your door. You want a tiny bag of polyester stuffing for a stuffed animal? Sure, let me put that literally unbreakable tiny thing in a refrigerator box with more packing peanuts than you've ever seen in your life. The polyester stuffing probably did more protection for the packing peanuts than the opposite. It should be a law that all packages arriving in December should not come in a clear plastic bag that clearly allows children to see what it is. Children is a concern, yes. I'm more worried about porch pirates, to be honest. Fortunately, they've not really done it to me with anything that I would be too concerned about. People might want to steal my iPad, but probably not my juicer, lol.